Hello. Hey guys. Oh, happy birthday, Nicole. Hey Shar. Hey Angie. Thank you. Angie, have you gotten your package yet? I wonder when it will be there. Sorry, I kicked myself off, you guys. Shar, I'm curious when you will get yours too. Hey Broken Dishes. Hey Aussie True Crime. Hey Tina. Hey Lolo. Oh my god, you guys. Okay. Hey Jennifer. So I'm just going to say the first, we will discuss the situation with Dawn and Candace, and then we're going to discuss, for the most part today, Leticia Stauch and her court date. We're going to go through the tweets, watch the press conference. You guys know that case is, near and dear to my heart, and I don't want to let it go on without us talking about it. Hey, Amelia. So first, I want to say, how many of you guys saw that interview with Molly Golightly and Dawn? I watched it this morning, and I thought, I'm not going to watch this by myself. I'm going to watch it on my channel. I'm thankful I didn't do that. Just because, I know some of my viewers are in recovery and I don't want to trigger anybody, but I do think we should talk about it. Oh, Broken Dishes. I have a quick clip, but let me just say that, oh, sure, you haven't seen it either. Oh, my Lord, you guys. It's pretty rough. I mean, so Molly's live, and he calls her, and I guess he didn't realize she was live. Oh, you can't wait to get your tea. So he was under the influence, you can tell, and him and Candace were fighting, and there was a few moments I want to discuss. I don't want to play it on here just because I don't want to trigger anybody. It was messy. I shared it on my community page. If you guys want to see it, see, Nicole saw it was awful. After this live, go to my community page and watch it. She actually has it time-stamped when he comes in. And I've had a lot of thoughts. So I know a lot of people, yeah, it's on my community page. You'll see it. It's like one or two posts down. So a lot of people are really shocked with the way they talk to each other. I mean, he called her a stupid bitch 20 times, and she said the same to him. And I don't know where Wolfie is. I haven't talked to her. Maybe I'll message her. So then, it was rough. And I don't think it's out of the norm, Well, he acts like on the call that he didn't realize she was live. Maybe he was just drunk, because that's what she said. She's like, she thought he knew, but he acted like he didn't. Regardless, I will say, it's kind of shocking to see that, but I don't think it's abnormal for addicts, alcoholics, and people that live out in the country. I mean, I don't know. Shar, or no, Nicole, it's moved real fast. I've missed you, Shar. That's exactly one of the things I did want to talk about with you guys. Do you think this is the environment that Summer was living in day to day? Or do you think that it's gotten worse because she's gone? Because let's face it, your child's gone, you're going to want to drink and party and all of that. I did laugh when he talked about how stupid his dogs are. That hurt my feelings. I'm like, dang, man, you just are so, I don't know. He just talked about him in a way that, I don't know. So you do think so. God, that is sad, y'all. So there's a certain part, and I do have the clip. It's like 10 seconds. This is the only clip I've got, but I want to hear what you guys think. So at the time, in the moment, Candace was maybe breaking a door. Well, before I get there, Molly goes, when's Summer's birthday? Don said he didn't know. We've seen that before, right? He's mentioned that in other interviews. But what shocked me is he asked Candace, and she screams that she doesn't know. And I'm like, maybe for Dad, who's working all the time, whatever. But for Mom not to know, that was kind of weird to me. And Molly really, it shocked her, and she doesn't have a poker face. And then Don got mad at her and started cussing her, calling her, bitch and this and that. And then he calmed down. Yeah, Nicole. Neither one of them knew where her birthday was. When her birthday was. I know when it is, But I didn't like that. Then there's another part, which I have the clip on. I feel terrible for her, too. This is really... That's okay, Granny. You can give your opinion even if it differs. So this is sad. I think that, I don't know. Like I said, Don's very vocal. He doesn't seem like he has anything to hide, but it's concerning, some of the stuff, obviously, but then also it's expected. Drinking, your child's missing. They live the lifestyle of, living in the country. Yeah, Granny's watching. I agree. But for the mom not to know, damn, it has gotten way worse, it seems. It was still poor taste on her end. I do not allow fighting in my house. I don't like it either. I want a calm, clean environment for my baby. Okay, so there's a part... After this, we'll probably move on to Gannon Stauch. That's something that... This topic right here, it bothers me for many reasons. I feel like, it does distract, and some people have said, it's a distraction. Cher said that, actually, and she wouldn't play it. She wouldn't play it. Said it made her change her mind about playing phone calls. She has a live coming up with a statement from them about last night, which I'm looking forward to that. But anyways, it does feel a little bit like a distraction. But also, how can we focus on Summer without focusing on her parents? It's hard. I mean, these are the closest people to her. Her mommy, the woman who bathed her and fed her and, helped her get up when she falls down and, cuts up her carrots or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. What if they are innocent and just stupid? Absolutely. I'm good for some Dr. T talk. Oh my God. Hey, Murder, Madness, and Mystery. Wouldn't know my date of birth. Oh, okay. Think she was wasted on a clear mind would know. That's what I wondered too. So anyways, let's play this quick clip and then we'll go on to Leticia. In this clip, he says that in the moment, Candace is trying to do something and possibly breaking something. He's kind of saying, you're going to break the door. Then he says, I have 7 alibis. He does say Candace has none. She's going down. Now, I don't think... I have the clip. We'll listen to it. I don't really think that he's turning on her. I think he was drunk because a little bit before, he says, I trust my wife. I believe everything she says. You know what I mean? So I just want to play it though for you guys and see what you think. I know, Yanni, I agree. I don't think she was cutting up many carrots. You know what I mean? Aggravated and annoyed by her. Yeah, wit's end. So I think you guys are kind of on the same page with that. But let's watch it and then we'll move on to... Oh, let me put up my little banner. What's bothering me too is the time changing. We have, the news and Ronnie Lawson or whoever reporting 7 p.m. We've heard 6:30. Yesterday in the interview with Molly, he says he remembers the day she went missing now, and he says 5:30. So I'm curious about that. And one thing before I play this, I can't help it. I still find it odd that he was the one who called 911 when he wasn't there. Because of that, I'm going to go back with you guys like here in a couple of days. We're going to go through and go back to the first videos ever made about Summer, the first information coming out, and kind of work through that from the beginning. That's something I really want to do. Okay. Here's the clip. We might have to play it twice.
No, I have 7 alibis. I have 7 alibis. Candace ain't got none. She's going down.
So that was sent to me from and that was from another live who was watching their live. They were pretty hammered from what I saw. Thank you, Shar. She was intentionally aggravating him. Yeah. Hey, Erica. I wish that he would have went and started her fire. You know what I mean? Because then she might have calmed down and then they could have had like more conversation about Summer. And then, you know, we have accusations of some kind of struggle going on at the end. I'm not going to get into that. Like I said, I don't want to trigger anybody. And also I feel I have questions about the parents, serious questions, but, you know, they could be innocent and I don't want to railroad them over here. So I want to be fair. I've tried to remain fair with you guys. Some things, though, you don't know her birthday. The mom, you know, Don, I expect that. And we've known that. He said it before. But, like, she could have been drinking. I don't know, you guys. I don't know what to think. I just felt so sick and so sad after watching that. It's like these people are struggling. They are sick. They probably need help for addiction. You know, they need counseling. Their daughter's missing. They're being blamed. We don't know who did it. We don't know, you know, they could be involved. Maybe one of them is. Maybe, you know, I don't know. I do know that Leticia Stauch, there's a lot of evidence that shows just what kind of person she is. So we're going to go through that. And here soon, you guys, I want to start from the beginning. Grab the first people that made YouTube videos, kind of talk through those. Grab the first news articles, talk through those. Maybe we missed something that we could, you know, I don't know. But there's got to be something different that could help Summer without, you know, hurting you guys and hurting me and hurting the family, because we don't know. And I've been in places. I've been in relationships with fights like that. I've seen lots of drunks and people that act like that in West Virginia, especially before I got clean and I was hanging out in all the wrong spots. I mean, it's really typical for the lifestyle they live, sadly. But I don't want to trigger anybody. No, Shar. When Dawn, so Molly asked for her birthday and Dawn's like, I don't know. And he's like, Candace, when's Summer's birthday? And she's like, I don't know. Real like, I don't know. She's kind of drunk and like, so I don't know. Maybe she knows when she's not drinking, which is what I'm thinking. One of his bail conditions would totally be no alcohol, I'm sure. You would think. It triggered her to break down people and stuff. Our kids. Yeah. Frankie baby. So if you go to my channel, so if you click my face and go to the channel, well, it depends on what you're on. The home page of the channel, you'll see some options. It'll say home. The next one is videos, you know, and they go on from there. And the community page is like the third or fourth option. And it's where you can share other people's videos, share pictures. You know, it's kind of like you can update your status on there. Hey, Johnny. I'm surprised nothing happened after that last night with all of YouTube. I think that you guys will be interested to watch the Glairer. He's doing a video on this soon, and we were talking earlier, and his opinion is really interesting, and I think, You don't want to miss that. I don't want to miss it either. And I also don't want to miss what Cher has to say, because she's spoken to them since. And I do think that they realize, that they're regretting it. Okay, let's talk about Leticia. So she had court last week. We're going to go through the tweets from the courtroom, and then there's a press conference. So let's see, share screen. I'm freaking muted. I'm sorry. So Gannon's mom is really lovely. Cher's in here. Hey, Hev, we just got off of summer, and we're going to your live all together after this. But anyway, so Gannon's mom is really sweet lady. She's having to travel, to court and stuff. I asked her how I could help a while back, and she sent me her PayPal. You guys absolutely do not need to feel like you should help, like you have to help or anything. But if you feel it in your heart that you want to be able to help somehow, that's what that little banner is right there. So first, let's go through the tweets. So he says, the DA and Al just walked in. I'm sitting right behind the attorney. Let me pull up the chat on my phone. So she did show up this time, but of course, it got interesting. We would not, it wouldn't be Leticia if it was just a regular old hearing. Leticia just walked in. She's sitting right in front of me. She's in the standard orange El Paso County jumpsuit. Hair is long, well past her elbows. She's seated next to Mr. Tolini. All eyes on the right side of the room are on her. I bet. I would have loved to have been there. This is the first time in months we have seen her in court in person. So the DA pipes up, says he understands Leticia will say not guilty. Mr. Tolini says yes, not guilty on all counts. Mr. Tolini says he is going to introduce evidence of Leticia Stauch's mental condition after the disappearance of Gannon. Not insanity plea, just evidence to be submitted. Now, this kind of threw me off a little bit. I've never heard of something like this. The DA says they need reports of what the evidence and issue might be so they can prepare. 6-week trial. Oh my God, 6 weeks long? Shoo. Jeez Louise. Okay. I haven't looked through all this, you guys. Judge Werner is saying he's going to try to eliminate other responsibilities to make sure the case runs smoothly without interruption. So they will have to see what days the trial will actually run. May skip a day of the week each week. Okay, the DA says if they are going to bring up mental health again, Leticia should be tested in the state hospital again, where she passed competency twice. Mr. Tolini says it's up to the judge. Again, this is not an insanity plea move. Tolini makes it clear this is specifically within a timeline right after the disappearance of Gannon, not before. The judge says he agrees she needs to go through an evaluation too, but it's odd for that specific time chunk. The DA says it might be that it's not even relevant in the trial because if she's being charged for crimes and they are talking about her competency after the alleged crime, it may not matter. The judge mulling it over. Now, oh my Lord, you guys. He's got his head back, thinking silent for about 10 seconds. I see this creating an intimate evaluation issue. They will want to talk to her about the circumstance of the crimes too, Tolini, and we would object to that. Trying to pull up the chat. Might be beneficial to set a date in 3 weeks to check back in. Tolini says, under this, it does not trigger the typical state hospital evaluation. He claims this is not an insanity plea evaluation, so it can and go through other channels besides state hospital. Judge is thinking through the timing now. Okay. Hey, Will, I was just talking about you, telling everybody they don't want to miss your live and Cher's live. Sorry to cough in the thing. Last time I had someone evaluated at the jail, it took a long time. The sooner we get this sorted, the better. The DA argues that the court should ask the defense proof of what they are trying to do and what it is being used for. Judge disagrees, says he knows it only impacts after the homicide was allegedly committed. Remember, they denied all charges in the case. From a common sense standpoint, it might be understandable. So I think I understand where they're coming from. Is he talking English or talking in circles? It seems to me it would be best to have it in custody at the jail. I frankly have not seen something raised quite this way. Not that it is improper, just that it creates some legal issues. My thought is you brief what it is that you want, and we meet again in 3 weeks and make a plan. Leticia Stauch has said nothing, just shifting in her seat back to back, now leaning back in her chair slightly slouched. Family is just looking dead ahead. Judge says, quote, the more info you can disclose about what you're doing, the less I'll unintentionally expose what you're doing while asking you questions in front of the DA, unquote. So December 9th is the next meeting. The DA makes another bid for access to what they're doing in order to combat what they will present. Judge says, not yet. I want to see what Mr. Tolini files. I agree there is a waiver, just not sure how far it goes. So he will work with him, but there's red tape. Defense team worries speedy trial could be a holdup, saying it might not be moving fast enough, and then there's trouble. Mr. Tolini speaks up against his own team, says he's not worried about it. No idea how long this could take, so I think the court has the ability to move the time out if we need. What is happening? Sounds like we're in some unfamiliar territory for all. The DA also saying there might need to be some limiting parts to this evidence, so any findings won't affect more than the time span they're talking about. Basically saying if there was something they found, the jury didn't get confused and think it counted before the alleged crimes. The meeting is over. Leticia, goes out. Now we're going to watch the press conference. Holy moly, you guys. Yes, Johnny, I've been teaching myself how to edit. I'm still not very good at it, but Amber Truth Seeker News, I love your new name. Hey, Amber, she does some incredible documentaries and stuff. I mean, really very good editing, and it takes a long time to do that kind of editing. Thank you, Brandy. Lottie Dot. We can touch back on the Summer Wells thing after we've kind of already discussed it. We can play that clip one more time and see what you guys think. I just don't want to be too invasive. I feel like they really need help. it can be triggering. Not only that, these people are desperate, they're not doing well. So I want to be really careful how we do that. Hey, Raven. Okay, so let's look at this. This.
Yeah, we'll be all right. It'll be fine. Okay, welcome into the 11 Breaking News Center. As I'm sure many of you know, earlier this afternoon, Leticia Stauch pleading not guilty in the charge of murder. She's facing 12 other charges related to the disappearance and death of her 11-year-old stepson, Gannon Stauch. We're going to go live outside the El Paso County Courthouse where Spencer Wilson is joining us now. Spencer's been on top of this every step of the way since Gannon went missing.
I agree with you completely. What are they up to, though? She has so much evidence against her. We know she did it. This is what I'm saying. We don't know. We may have questions about Dawn and Candace. Believe me, I have questions. But we have evidence, and we know this evil hussy and what she's done. But I just, what is she up to now? They want another mental health evaluation. They've gotten two. She's found competent. And this is in reference to right after the crime. Like, can't you do that on your own time? This better not push things back or somehow make it where she gets an easier sentencing or whatever. If she needs mental health help, sure, I'm fine with her spending the rest of her life in a mental hospital prison or whatever, you know what I mean? But not anything less than that. Okay. Hey, Canadian Mama.
In January of last year. Spencer, how did it all go down this morning?
John, a lot of stuff happened this morning, actually. First of all, the fact that Leticia Stauch made a physical appearance in court today. It hasn't happened for months, but we do know that Judge Gregory Warner asked her she needed to be there this time in order to enter her plea. She didn't speak up herself today. Mr. Cellini, her defense attorney, actually ended up saying that she was pleading not guilty on all charges, like you said, but for her to physically be in that room changed the atmosphere for everyone involved, both the media where we're sitting, both the family sitting on the right side, and even the attorneys. There was a different air in court today. Another important aspect, we got the trial date, or at least what they've set it as right now. It's going to be March 28th. Of course, with this case, things can go back and forth. They can extend. There's a lot of different things going into this.
You think?
And so while that is
with this case,
anything what's going to happen, the 28th of March, who knows if that's actually going to stay
yes,
that way.
Tina. So she's the one. Gannon disappeared in January of 2020. My years. I think that's right. He disappeared in January. Yeah, that's correct. And he was found in March or April. And she got a hotel. They're from Colorado. His body was found in a suitcase thrown off the side of a bridge. And she actually rented a hotel room within like a mile from where he was found.
That could come up and actually bump that date out is the defense asked if they could add some evidence. In this case, being a mental evaluation. Now, when people heard mental evaluation, they said, Leticia Stauch, she's already been cleared for competency twice, as is required if they bring that question up. This is not for an insanity defense plea. This is not for a competency issue. This is something different. And the whole case of this is they're not quite telling us what it is yet.
He was found March 20th.
But it sounds like they're trying to ask some questions about her mental state, specifically after the disappearance. So not before the disappearance, after the disappearance, which if you're trying to use that as a defense, you could draw the lines and parallels saying that it would only really count for those charges that happened after his alleged murder. So a lot of interesting questions out here today, a lot of new stuff we learned. It all just depends on how it's going to shake out in terms of that timeline for March 28th.
And speaking of timeline, I want to encourage our viewers, go to kktv.com. In the working article, we have lots of coverage on this, including the arrest papers that 11 News obtained from police for the affidavit of probable cause of arresting Leticia Stauch. We also have Spencer's original interview that he did with Leticia after Gannon went missing, but before she was charged in her death. And that is.
You guys, hold up. Oops. I have the link to the actual press conference where the DA is answering questions, and I thought that's what it was because I'm not logged in on, daggone it, on Facebook, but that's okay. Oh, and oh my gosh, it's not as bad now because there's not much happening, but it's really hard not to get completely, absorbed into it. Let's see. Daggone, I cannot believe I played the wrong thing. Well, I mean, that's the reporter that was there, but I really wanted to see the press conference, but I don't know that we have time. I don't want to run over when, other lives are planned with other people. Hey, Punksy. I have the arrest affidavit right here, and I've went through it. I printed it off. But let me read to you this article, you guys. Hold on, just one little part. Young. So this Young is the asking questions to the detective Yoder to describe the body of Gannon when he was found. It was severely decomposed, fully clothed, wrapped in blankets, and in the fetal position. The body had a fractured skull with a gunshot wound in his jaw, sharp force injuries in his chest and back, defensive wounds to his hands, and cuts on his arms and hands. You know what I mean? That evil, ugh. She is evil. And she deserves to suffer. I just cannot imagine. I just hate to see her, the games that she plays in court. Like, it's so disrespectful and just, ugh. Let me try to share the link. Copy link. If I send it to one of you, like, I'll send it to, sure. Let me see if it works. And you can post it in the chat, and then I could click on it maybe. Yeah, he did. When I heard about his defense, like the defense wounds on his arms and stuff, I mean, I'll never forget that live. It was awful just to think about him. And then all the, she made such a joke out of it, making up all these fake people. We were driving around the neighborhood and wanted help with this in our house, and this guy came, or, then we're driving around the neighborhood and this guy's in the middle of the road acting injured. Just story after story. Maybe Eduardo was still threatening her, friggin' loon she is. She had to bring him to Florida, evil witch. And she was pretty smart. Like, she had an answer for it. Not smart, but she thought of things ahead of time. She, yeah, let's see. Char, did you get a message from me? Just curious if it went through. Hey, Sandy Beach. We're talking about Leticia Stauch had court last week. She pled not guilty, but she wants another mental health evaluation, the third one. She's already had two, and she was found competent for both of those. Then we were kind of talking about that live last night with Dawn and Candace. Let's see if I can click that. Hold on. Ooh, this might work. Thank you, Shar, so much for doing that. Okay. We do have time. It's only like 10 minutes. Shoot. Sorry, you guys. It's working. I had to log into my Facebook, but I think I got it. Let's see. Too bad they don't use medieval torment as punishment anymore. Yeah, really. I don't know where Wolfie's at. I meant to message her, but I forgot. So Canadian Mama, yes. So she was alone with him. His dad was out of town. She reports him missing. He misses school that day. She says he was sick and then reports him missing and says he went to a friend's house. They found blood all through the house. I mean, a trail, lots of it. They found blood in her vehicle. She goes and rents a vehicle as well. Then the gun he was shot with looks to be the gun that she had, like one of her guns that they owned. So there's many different things. The blankets in the suitcase were the blankets from a picture that was taken of him that morning of him on his bed. There's a lot of things. Plus, she's lied. She's changed her story a million bazillion times. Okay, I got it. Let's see what he says. Yay. Hey, Chihuahua Dawson. Okay.
Instead, they're quick to cut their carbs, or they start eating more healthy fats because they heard of the keto diet, or they start following the paleo diet, or whatever it is. And like always, the results that they might get quickly fade away. And look, I don't want that to happen to you again. If it's probably happened to you in the past, and you probably know this firsthand, especially when I've already gone through the trouble of.
For all the cameras, come on, I've been giving Spencer such a hard time.
Here we go. Yay. I can't believe she pled not guilty. I would think she would want to do some kind of deal.
Well, he tells me he likes you, so that's some proof.
I don't understand either. And there's a song. There's not a song. There's a video that came out from.
Where do y'all want me to look?
Oh, hold on. From the night before, and you can hear him crying.
To our Facebook audience and our audience on January, his body was found.
He's like in pain.
Always important to remember that every defendant guilty in the plea hearing this afternoon. We're going to go out live to the courthouse right now and hear from District Attorney Michael Allen. Present this case to a jury. Always important to remember that every defendant is innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt by a jury of peers, people from our area, the 4th Judicial District. So
people without legal degrees, what's going on with the evidence proposal in terms of mental evaluation? That's not about competency.
Sure. So today, the defense basically gave us notice that they intend to put some sort of mental health defense out as it relates to some of the charges, specifically one of the charges. That will be decided in more thorough detail on January 9th when we come back at 1:30. So we'll know more then.
Have you seen something like
that? Wait.
That
makes me think. He said specifically to one of the charges. Her charges have to do with like mutilation or moving and hiding the body. Hold on, I'll look while this is playing.
Occasionally, it's a little bit rare, but occasionally we've seen stuff like this before.
And you told me it's interesting because we have to make sure that it is specifically for the time frame they're talking about compared to trying to encapsulate that for all charges.
Right. Well, it's important to note, too, that we only got a very brief description of this issue from defense today. We should know more, like I said, on January 9th as to specifically what they intend to apply this to. So I'm sort of guessing.
Okay, she's charged with child abuse resulting in death, first-degree murder, tampering with the deceased human body, and tampering with physical evidence. Now, the first-degree murder, it's not in this, but I know that it's been like, it's a death penalty state. The death penalty is like no longer in Colorado, but if the crime was committed before a certain date, which this was, we don't know if it'll be death penalty. But there's certain things that can make the charges like an upgrade. My stomach's growling. So where she was, in like a parent or a guardian, that's one of them. Another one is based on the weapons that were used, which they think a blunt force object, a gun, and a knife were all used on him. So then that was another, that like upped the charge. I don't know how to explain it, but here, let's watch this.
Based on what was said in court, what it will apply to and what time frame it might apply to.
I don't know.
And we'll know more on January 9th.
Your guess is that tampering with body in charge.
I'm not going to guess as far as that goes.
But it's not related to the first-degree murder charge.
I'm not going to even guess about that either. Yep.
Talk to me, you kind of expected this plea to come in. I mean, does this now allow you to better prepare? Where does this put you, this date? I mean, it's just kind of expected.
Yeah. So, yeah, we did expect that at some point she would enter a not guilty plea and get this case set for trial. It doesn't allow us a better opportunity to prepare. We've been preparing for this case from day one. From the
it's looking that way, Canadian Mama.
And so we've been working on this case constantly, and we're going to continue to work on this case constantly until we get to that jury trial date. So.
How are Dan's family doing? I'm sure that was probably not easy seeing the accused person there.
Yeah, it's hard to get into their heads necessarily about what they might be feeling, but I can tell you that it's the first time they've seen her in person in quite some time, right? So I'm sure that brought up a lot of emotions.
Oh, I bet they just wanted to.
The state charges are then going to trailed or not, so they should collect your today. Is that correct?
You're talking about the solicitation to escape from the jail. Yes, correct. That is going to trail. That will not be part of the jury trial that's set for March 28th.
Can you explain what trail means?
It just means that it's waiting for the
He was found at the trial March 28th, he said. He was found March 20th. After that, when they transported her from Myrtle Beach to Colorado, she tried to escape. She hit an officer. She had to spend the night in jail in like Kansas or somewhere.
The bigger case, the murder case.
You talked about limiting instructions on a jury already. Yeah. I'm wondering about how difficult jury selection in this case could be.
Well, I think
agree,
it'll be
Sandy.
An extended period for jury selection, but what we find is that this is a big community. We've got the most populous county in the entire state, and so I don't think that we'll have any trouble seating a jury that can be fair and impartial.
6 weeks.
Right. The dad was Army Reserves, and he was gone for the weekend.
It was long.
It's a longer than normal homicide trial.
Normally, a homicide trial runs 2 weeks in El Paso County, correct?
Generally speaking, yeah.
And that's also because of the gratuitous amount of documents, evidence people need to hear from.
This is a unique case, and that's what's leading to a longer trial setting.
Do you have a rough number of witnesses you think you guys are going to call?
No.
No. Why is it unique?
I think the fact that you're all here is a significant point as to why it's unique, right? It has drawn a lot of interest. It was an extended investigation. It is a unique case.
Brandy, I think so.
So
I really do, sadly.
This is personal for me. I don't know if you guys are feeling this way. So that mental health thing wouldn't apply to that charge?
Again, I'm not going to guess as to specifically. I'm just going off of what they said, generally speaking, in court today. And when I say they, I'm talking about defense. And these are all statements that they made in open court today. But it's sort of guessing with what they're saying and how that might apply to the facts. We'll know more on January 9th.
On January 9th, is that when there could be a decision on if she's evaluated by the state hospital?
I think it's a foregone conclusion based on what they've said already that she will be evaluated by the state hospital. The question is, based on what we talked about today in court, whether she's evaluated at the jail or down in Pueblo at the state hospital. That's really the question.
And it would be a lot speedier at the state hospital.
Okay, yes, she was, Brandy, that's a great point. So you guys, her Google searches were things like, I'm raising another woman's kids, or I'm going to buy a Valentine's Day card for my stepkid's mom, or because I'm raising their kids. Like, search for men who want to date who don't like kids or don't have kids. Like, she was feeling some type of way about being about her job as the stepmom and what she took on with that. And I do believe that Landon at the time she had just had a baby, and Gannon and his little sister were going back and forth, and to an extent, but they were staying with his dad and stepmom. So she was doing a lot of the day-to-day stuff. And I think that she was overwhelmed. And her attitude, you guys, she does an interview with this guy when Gannon's missing, right? She won't face the camera. She only let the camera see her back. And she says, he goes, what do you hope that happens? Or something like, if Gannon's found, he asked some kind of question like, what do you hope I don't know. And she says, well, I just hope everybody apologizes to me for how they've been treating me and pointing the finger at me. You know, Gannon wouldn't like that. He wasn't that kind of kid.
Potentially could be.
Well, and you argued for that too. Is there a reason you thought that was more important? Than
in her own words, but yeah.
You're about being at the state hospital. Yeah. So I think it's
Canadian mama.
Not necessarily this case, but
it
generally
is a
speaking,
privilege.
Anytime you can have an evaluation done at the state hospital where the facilities are set up for these types of things, where you can do 24-hour evaluations of their conduct and what they're doing, is a better process than a short amount of time at the jail where they don't get to see how they're acting when they're not under the evaluation process, if that makes sense. And I'm speaking in a general sense, obviously.
Me too, Frankie, baby.
Just to make things crystal clear for people, this is a different issue than the issue of competency, correct?
It's a different issue than competency. It's also different than not guilty by reason of insanity. It's not even to that level.
Is there anything we can define it as?
It would just be some sort of mental health defense that she's raising as it relates to specific periods, it sounds like, and potentially or specific charges, right? So it's not necessarily going to apply to the main charges of the homicide, and it's not guilty by reason of insanity, meaning that, so just as a general sense, not guilty by reason of insanity is basically an admission that somebody did something, but they couldn't form the mental state to hold them accountable for it, right? Meaning that they couldn't form the intent and the knowledge to go after somebody and kill them. That's not what is being alleged here. So that wouldn't apply to this particular case. It's only after the fact is what it sounds like.
This is kind of off the beaten path of what we're talking
Yes.
about.
Okay. Just to pause for a moment. Frankie baby. So her daughter was 17 at the time. You can see through her text, which we can go through. Like I said, I have the discovery printed off. I was highlighting the things I felt were, that stood out to me. She texts her daughter and asks her Gannon's little sister comes home from school. She goes up, gets her, because they're using the alarms in the house too to kind of tell you where she's at the time. She gets her, has her go outside in the front yard, has her daughter come grab her, and then run to the store to get her bleach, carpet cleaner, Brillo pads. She was cleaning the blood trail that the police found. They used luminol. She was trying to clean it up. They found one of the Brillo pads in the dishwasher that still had carpet fibers and blood on it. But behind his bed, there was an outlet that was covered in blood, and there was so much blood that it soaked through the carpet and through that little padding down into the cement. She is pure evil.
I've had people in the public asking whether there's been a ruling in terms of if people are going to be allowed to listen into this. I know there's a lot of problems with our access in here. 1,000 people are on there. Have you heard anything in terms of how the judge ruling on that?
For trial?
Yes.
No, I have not heard anything specifically about trial.
That would be figured out.
The daughter was on the witness list.
That would probably happen more at pre-trial. Yeah, when we get about a week away from the actual trial starting. Yeah.
Any words for the community who may feel like now that a trial date is set that this is really proceeding?
It's been proceeding the whole time. It's just the criminal justice system can be slow. And this particular case, like lots of cases during this particular time period, are slowed down even more because of COVID, right? The pandemic has affected everything we do in the courthouse, everything we do in the criminal justice system, and this case is no different. But despite the pandemic, despite everything that we've had as far as challenges related to the pandemic, the criminal justice system.
The daughter was on the witness list. I'm really curious if she's going to be there.
Cases, including homicide cases. We got a verdict on a homicide case just yesterday. That was really good. So
Punksy,
really, it just means that things potentially are a little slower, a little bit longer to get to a resolution. But it doesn't mean anything on our ability to prosecute cases or hold people accountable in a general sense.
I know there's discussion in the courtroom about speedy trial. the defense was talking about kind of back and forth with themselves, whether or not this would be an issue. Did you have an opinion?
Just looking for ways to defend their client. They don't have to worry about statutory requirements on.
I noticed that Gannon's mom was crying afterwards.
Yeah.
This is the first time that they have actually seen her in person
Right.
in quite some time. Did they talk to you at all about what that was like for them to actually be in the same room?
So, not necessarily. Obviously, I think I mentioned it earlier. I think Nicole had asked that question. This is the first time they've seen her in person in a long time, right? And I think from anybody's standpoint that's got kids or
and
parents, right?
Leticia and Landon, Gannon's mom, used to be friends. Before they moved out to Colorado and stuff, they were friends.
It would be an emotional thing to finally see.
I am wanting to
make sure that she feels comfortable with what's going on. That's a big part of what we do in the DA's office.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Anything you think with us?
That's it.
I think you were all pretty thorough, except for Spencer.
Nice way to say repeating.
So, whoa. Why is that doing that?
It takes 45 minutes to get from there to my house.
Okay, sorry about that. Now, I'll be following that case till the end. It's really important to me. I'm thinking about going through that discovery and talking about some of it. I just didn't know if, you guys wanted to talk about it. I'm doing it anyways. You, Canadian Mommy, you said it right. It's an absolute privilege to raise any child. It absolutely, the love and the joy and what they bring to you, there's nothing else in life that will give you that, so her loss, but poor little Gannon had to suffer because of her being evil. If the daughter was on the witness list, could she have cut a deal or something? Now that's something a lot of people have wondered. I wonder, because she could have technically been an accessory after the fact, right? If she's going after the cleaning chemicals and stuff, but we don't know if she was knowingly doing that. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Probably when the case is closed, we'll get information like that. I don't know if we'd find out that before trial. No one should date someone with kids if they don't think. Absolutely. I agree. Sandy Beach, you're right. Absolutely. Glad her daughter's on the witness list. I pray she tells the truth. I do too. And her daughter actually put out, she's on TikTok, and she put out a several part video explaining, how hard it was losing Gannon and stuff. And she showed pictures of them hiking, and she seems like a really sweet kid, and she's just drop dead gorgeous. Beautiful girl. She has, her TikTok is mainly about Christianity and stuff. She wouldn't allow my dad to pick me up alone or have some alone time with him. Aw, I'm sorry, Brandy. What is up with these women? I don't know. This is me. If I find a man that has kids, the fact, him being a good dad would be a turn on, right? Him wanting to be involved. Don't put me first. Put the kids first, because then I'll be right there, because to me that's attractive. Canadian Mama, if there was when we went through, so they wouldn't allow cameras in the courtroom, but there was live tweeting, and when we went through, it's on my channel. We went through all the tweets. They were going through the evidence and stuff. It was right towards the beginning. Oh, it just, I think it's worse than we ever could have imagined. And I do think that when it does reach court, it's going to be disturbing, you guys. Okay, so let's listen to this one more time, because I do want to get off here and watch Cher's live to see what the Wells said about last night and everything. Sure, that doesn't surprise me about you. But let's listen to this clip again, and you guys tell me what you think.
No, I have 7 alibis. I have 7 alibis. Candace ain't got time. She's going down. No, I have 7 alibis. I have 7 alibis. Candace ain't got time. She's going down.
I don't know. That's just weird to me. Just right before he says that he trusts her, he knows what happened. It's his wife and he believes her. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Oh my gosh, Sandy Beach. That's awesome that you guys bonded though. Someone you had on your panel married the same and became best friends, and now they room together. Oh, yeah. Bianca Devon's mom is roommates with her ex-husband's ex-wife and all their kids. So all the siblings live together. Our hard times, even though some things are just like, you don't know if you'll even make it through, right? You're going through something and you're just like, God, is this ever going to end? And what am I going to even make it to that point? But they make us better. They make us more kind, more understanding. They make us want to be better people. So at least we have that. Yeah, thank you for hanging out, Amelia. Canadian Mama. What did I miss? Absolutely a turn on. Yes. Stepdaughter. Oh, yeah. Okay, you guys. I'll be back soon. I don't know when. Just depends on what happens. I really want to talk about this summer stuff more in depth. I want to go back to the very first reports of her being missing and watch some of the videos that other YouTubers did at that time and go through the news reports. I think that, what else can we do? We don't have any information. The police, of course they're going to be tight-lipped, but they've just been pretty much absent here lately. So, shut my candle. It doesn't feel like there's much hope. I have this candle in here right now. It's berry cheesecake. Oh my God, you guys. It just smells edible, for real. So, what are y'all going to get into? Me and Bentley, he's napping. I'm going to watch Shares Live. Then we're going to have like a mommy baby night and just hang out together, snacking and watching movies and all of that. I'm so glad you're here today, Canadian Mama. I'm glad all of you are here. I love you guys so much. You've become my family, not just my viewers, not just my friends, but my family. I've been craving cheesecake. Do you like the baked cheesecake or like the sets in the refrigerator, the no bake? I like them both. But yeah, you guys mean a lot to me. I appreciate it. I love hanging out and just talking. So thanks for that. And I hope that you guys have an awesome night. Go do the same. Love your babies. Hug them. We're lucky that our kids aren't missing. During that interview with Molly, he kept repeating, my daughter was abducted. And it just made me think, God, I can't imagine going through something like that. I just don't know. I like no bake when it is cold. I like no bake too. I like them both. Make a great no baker. Yummy. My aunt would make them for me for my birthday, and she'd put like bananas. She'd do crust, bananas, cheesecake, strawberries on top, or crust, Reese cups, cheesecake, and then like chocolate syrup. Or yeah, I only have sea monkeys. I don't know, but for real love. Oh, I got it now. Well, love them sea monkeys. I would like to see some. But anyways, okay, I love you guys. Have a good day. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon, okay? Bye.